Welcome to Coffee and Collaborations, yet another episode. And today I have another special guest, amazing guest, Marcel Anderson, international recording artist, speaker, author, amazingness, and also a songwriter, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And so I am excited to have him here. We've been going back and forth just a teeny bit, not too bad,
Right.
to get him on the show. And I got him here on this rainy, beautiful afternoon. And so if you guys have not heard of Marcel Anderson, you have to make sure to go and check him out, follow him. We're going to get into the why in just a minute. So you want to say hello?
Hello to you,
Hello.
Kim, and your team. So grateful and honored to be here on this special day, celebrating life, and
Yes.
a great conversation that I'm looking forward to getting into, and hope that I can not only share insight but also learn insight from you as well.
Yes.
Yep. So thank you for having me.
You're
Yep.
welcome. Thank
Yep.
you for being here. This is Mindset Month. And so every week we've been talking to someone who can provide some value about mindset and how their mindset has helped to either help them to succeed and or fail. Because we've all been there. We've all had some crummy days, but we've also been able to adjust it, hopefully. And then there are those out there who don't have the skill set yet to be able to do that. But what I want to do with this show and this month is to be able to provide that, especially for those entrepreneurs. So many people are giving up already. Like we still have so many days left in the year. And so every second of every day is an opportunity to switch something, turn it on, and do something different to propel forward. And so that's what this is about. And I know that Marcel, so I read his book, I think the first one. I haven't read, so he's a 3-time author. What are the titles of all of your books?
Yeah, so the second one I actually co-wrote on a book called Letters to Our Brothers. The visionary is Jason McHoney.
Okay.
So I had a chance to write a chapter in the book. It was 44 brothers who actually contribute to this particular book. We recently had a book signing and release here in Wake County. But I had the opportunity to kind of write my story, talking about don't give up.
Yeah.
No matter what you have, and let's talk about having the right mindset in order to not give up. So that was my title, and so excited about that. So the third book is a workbook to my first book, which released January the 1st. So I'm excited about that as well. So it's a workbook for survivors, which I'll share more about when we speak a little bit later within the interview.
Yeah.
To help them to kind of guide through their internal healing and really finding out who they are after experiencing a catastrophic experience in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Helping
Excited.
everybody up and down and all around.
Yeah.
So that second one is basically a collaboration.
Yeah, it's a collaboration book. Basically, it's a book of various letters from 44 men, and it's interesting that it's 44 men. Is literally in honor of the 44th president, who is Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And all of the brothers are African American brothers who contributed to this book. And I think any young black brother, adult, male, whoever, I think could benefit from the letters that's in this book. And the goal is for us to get it in the hands of every black brother, not just a black brother, but any male throughout this country to read it and receive the words that these brothers had contributed towards this compilation book.
Was that event just like about a week ago?
It was literally this past Saturday.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yep,
Yeah, I thought
yep,
so.
yep,
At my favorite place, one of my favorite places in Raleigh, Ace Event Center. Okay, awesome.
Yep.
We are fans of Ace Event Center, so shout out to Ace Event Center in Knightdale, North Carolina, real quick. So let's get into a little bit more about Marcel. He already gave us some little like nuggets of stuff or like some tidbits of like, okay, what's he gonna talk about later? So let me read his bio really quickly.
Thank you.
Marcel Anderson is an urban soul contemporary gospel artist whose roots in gospel music began at an early age. A native of Spartanburg, South Carolina, Marcel was raised among a powerhouse of musicians and singers, which is where he discovered one of the many passions God placed in him, singing. Marcel has a BA in psychology from St. Augustine's University right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and a master's degree in human behavior from Capella University, with a passion for education and youth development. You guys know that's my heart. Marcel continues to showcase his musical talents on the stage while empowering the youth in his community with his mentoring program, Accelerating Men Incorporated. With an irresistible R&B and urban soulful contemporary groove, Marcel reaches a new generation of young leaders and worshipers. Y'all know I love that too. Hallelujah. He always allows the Spirit of God to be glorified through his music and has shared the stage with local and national gospel greats such as Ty Tribbett, John P. Key, Leandria Johnson, Sean Bigby, and Teen Pure in Heart. Marcel simultaneously released his first book, Still Living, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, Still Living, A Victimized Man's Journey, and his first album, also entitled Still Living, where he shared his story to help people understand that no matter what has happened in their lives, they must continue to live. And then, so I'm not going to read that part. I want him to share what the book is about. But he shares his heart and story through his music and hopes to encourage every listener to never give up on their dreams. His sophomore album, entitled Road to Recovery, which I have right here, if I'm really good, he said he might give me that, is designed to transform moods and thoughts. Road to Recovery features producers Marcus Anderson. You guys may have heard of Marcus Anderson. That's actually his brother, Anderson. Just in case you didn't get it, that's actually his twin brother. Saxophonist. What does he play? Any other instruments?
He plays the flute, xylophone, tenor sax, the bass guitar, electric guitar. The list goes on and on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So multifaceted.
Yeah.
The whole family. Nicholas Cole, Demetrius Everett, Alpheus Anderson. Is that a relative as well?
That's my brother.
That's also your brother? Younger?
Older.
Older brother. Okay. And so is he a singer or a musician?
He's a musician. He's a national recording artist and a producer. He has 7 children albums out.
Oh.
He's a 2-time Stellar Award winning, nominated, and produces for various gospel artists as well.
Wow.
Has a music school and travels all over the country to do the same thing.
All that talent in one household.
Yep,
I know
one
some
household.
Proud parents.
2 sets of twin boys.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm a twin, and then he has a twin as well.
Oh, I knew you were a twin, but they're twins also?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody was busy for a while. They were ready for y'all to get.
And 3 sisters.
Oh my goodness. What's that math? 7?
That's 7, yeah.
Wow.
7 total, yeah.
So a big family.
Big family, yeah, big family.
I love big families.
Yep, me too.
So to wrap it up, Derek Adams is also one of those people, Maurice Jackson and Niall Hargrove. So you can reach him. He's going to give us all the information and so forth and so on, how we can reach him, follow him on social media. But I want to dive right in. So we found out about his amazing family from that bio and my questions. Y'all know I'm a curious little person. But I love it. And so let's talk a little bit about your story. So I met you, actually, I think I met you at the Links. Isn't that where we met? At the Links like 2 years ago. And so that's a program that I guess we both had a heart for. It's to support teens who have been fostered, adopted, and I really love that program. So that's actually how we met, and then ended up having a bunch of people, mutual friends, if you are Facebook follower or whatever. You know, we have mutual friends in common. Actually, my brother-in-law is one. Did you know that?
Who's your brother-in-law?
Alvin Miles.
What?
Yes.
Yes. We went to school together.
I know.
Yeah, small world.
Right, we'll get into that later.
Wow.
That's my brother-in-law.
Wow.
And then Brentley Wright, who I've worked with for a few years. So we had some people in common. And, but we've been connected, but we never really had an opportunity to really sit and talk and really learn about one another. So I'm excited to, I read your story.
Yes,
so
you did.
we were, on social media messenger.
Yep.
And he said, I said, do you know of any good books? I think we were talking about books. And he said, I actually do know of a good book. And he told me the title to his book, and he sent it to me. I said, oh yeah, I'll read it. I think I read it. I think I told you I read it like overnight.
Yeah.
It was a great, compelling story. And so share a little bit about that book and your story.
Yeah, I will. And again, I'm so honored again to be here on this show. And just to not only share my story, but inspire others to share their stories. So as you shared in my bio, I do have a book called Still Living, my first book.
Yeah.
A Victimized Man's Journey on Purpose to Live. And I had the opportunity to write this book in 2014. And it was during a time where I was working through some challenges in my life. If you ever was moving at a space where you thought, or moving at a pace where you thought you was moving at a good pace, and all of a sudden you had some roadblocks, some challenges kind of got in the way, or you got, knocked off your feet and didn't know what hit you. And that's what happened to me, and that's what my book is about. 2011, I was knocked off my feet, caught off guard in a home invasion where I was up against the wall, didn't know if I was going to fall or stay on the wall.
Yeah.
Because in this home invasion, there was a robber involved where he basically held me gunpoint and blindfolded me and handcuffed me for about 2+ hours. And he had shared with me during the time, if I did everything he told me to do, I may live, right? I may live. So immediately in my mind, I had to make a decision if I'm going to submit to that or try to respond differently. So I had to make a decision quickly on if I wanted to survive or if I wanted to die. And that was my options at that time. So I wanted to survive given the fact that I didn't know if I was going to survive, but my mindset was to submit to those instructions, and I did that, and I was able to survive. However, I didn't know that I was going to experience all of what I encountered after he had shared that to me. After that, he began to push me and shove me in the back room, began to brutalize me with the pole that he had in his other hand and the gun in his other hand, and began to call me out my names and began to, again, just brutalize me. Like DMX said in his song, I almost lost my mind, right? Up in here, up in here.
Yes.
And a lot of times people don't understand when you go through something like that, it does shift your mind. You do have a mind shifting and on many levels. Went through, again, some challenging times. However, got through it with the help, the right and proper help. Oftentimes, as men in particular, and black men, and in our culture, we don't want to get the proper help because we feel like we're okay, or we don't want to talk, we don't want to share those type of things that happen to us. Research shows that 1 in 6 young men will be sex assaulted before the age of 18. 1 in 5 young ladies will be sex assaulted before the age of 18. So you have to understand that a lot of men who do experience these type of catastrophic episodes do not report. So those are just the ones who do report. There's many that I've spoken to, that I've communicated with, that don't share their stories because they may be fixed in a certain mindset. And they want to they may want to grow. But again, with the heaviness of
that burden,
the situation, that burden, and the challenges is hard, but it's a process, and you can make it when you get the right help and you take the right steps, right? And you pace yourself, you can get to the end.
Yeah, that's right. And you made a great point, fixed versus growth mindset. And that's basically the two. And of course, there's so many underneath. But as a result of your growth mindset, I mean, you went into it with a growth mindset. Like, you didn't know that day that was going to happen. However, in your mind, the entire time you just said it, you were thinking, I have a choice. I'm going to die here or I'm going to survive. And so you made a choice in your mind that day, I'm going to survive. And so, like, that is so powerful. And then now you are here to be able to share it with other people, and then hopefully, even if they've never experienced what you experienced, like you said, they can choose, looking at your example, to have a growth mindset, seeing that you can overcome almost anything.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
That was evil.
Yeah.
It was horrible, and he is here. And not only that, so a question I was thinking about as you were talking about that is, were you singing like to the degree that you are now? Before that, were you out ministering?
Yeah, so I had just, it's a good question. I had just, I felt things were moving in the right direction for me. I felt like I was going at a great pace in my life. I had just received my license in special education. I had a great teaching job at the time, and I had just released my first demo CD. So I had really started my professional musical career.
Okay.
I had sung and visited different places to sing for family and friends in different churches. But now I had began to take my musical career to another level as an artist. And I released my demo CD. And literally right before then, I felt things were moving in the right direction. And then right into the new year, literally January 1st, I was caught off guard. Yeah, going into the new year. I had came up with the idea of my mentoring program. There was so many things that came to me. I felt like I was in a creative mindset. Things were happening for the good for me and society, and it felt like something was trying to stop me and prevent me from moving forward. I mean, it was a tough process. It was challenging. I had to deal with myself again on so many levels.
Yeah, and I think about that. So you were just launching, like you had just visually, I see that, you had just launched, and then you had a roadblock that was humongous, like that could have stopped you. You could have balled up, and people would have said it was okay too. Like you could have balled up, and for 10, 20 years from now, people would have said, oh, he was hurt years ago, he was brutally assaulted. I get it, I understand. But you had a purpose bigger than yourself. And so as a result of knowing that purpose, maybe not at the time, but growing into that, you could have stopped, but you didn't. You have produced, I don't know the level of education you got after that, but you continue. So now you have 3 degrees, you also have 3 albums, and you've authored 3 books, and been able to help who knows how many, because they're, word of mouth. People get a story they never even told you, and they read it, and it helps them. And so I think about that, the power of the mind.
It's so critical.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think about it as you was talking. In these type of situations, people can either conform or transform.
Yes.
Right, themselves or their mindset. And there's a biblical proverbs in Romans 12:2. And 2, he says that do not conform to the ways of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Right. So, like you said, some people may have thought I would conform to this certain way, but they didn't realize that greater is in me than he is in the world.
That's right.
So that was something greater in me that shifted my mindset, to help me to transform my mind and the things that I know that I needed to move into. Yeah. Even with the challenges, and even with the roadblocks, even with the checkpoints that came in my life. Yeah. And when those roadblocks did come, and when they do come in life, sometimes we have to assess and check ourselves before we move past. Sometimes we want to move past those roadblocks, even when we feel like we have the energy and we have the tools to move forward. And for me, I had to stop and I had to assess what just happened to me. Yeah. Because this doesn't happen, I'm sure, every day, or does this happen every day to men? And I began to research and find organizations or anything that I think I could connect to help me to wrap my mind around this. Yeah. And I began to come across organizations like 1 in 6, which is one of the largest organizations that speak out against sexual assault against men, male survivors, Call to Men, the Briscoe Combe projects that I'm connected to on a national level, RAINS. These are different organizations that people can plug into if they've ever experienced something like I have, so you know that these resources are available. And when I found that these resources was available, I felt like not only was I alone, but there was a community of men that can support me and I can support them as well. So it was very helpful for me to sit there and assess and realize where I was, because a lot of times people feel like when they get to a roadblock, it's the end of the day. And I believe that a roadblock doesn't mean it's a good thing or it's a bad thing or different. A roadblock means that change is happening. And are you ready for the change when you get to that roadblock? Do you have everything you need to get past that roadblock? Right? So I think you have to make sure you have the right tools and the right mindset, right, in order to be able to navigate through those obstacles and those challenges and those roadblocks that life will bring, because they're going to bring something to you.
Yeah, they are.
Are you ready for that change?
For sure. And then just visually, so you can choose to stop and turn around, reverse, and go back, or like you said, go around, over, figure it out. And so you just stated one of my favorite scriptures. It's actually the foundation of the nonprofit, Beauty 180.
Didn't know that.
It's Beauty 180, obviously, is transformation. And that's the foundation scripture. So our focus is beauty from the inside out. Do not be conformed to this world, but transformed by the renewing of your mind. So synergy. So mindset is so important. Guys, I don't know, I have chills just hearing his story and hearing how he propelled forward and all of the work all the good work that has happened as a result. So now I want to talk about some of that good work. You know, of course, we have the albums, which are amazing, getting to that, but the Accelerating Men program that you have, the mentorship program, can you tell us a little bit about that and how that functions? And we were talking before as we were setting up, we were talking a little bit about that and, you know, some of the components of it. And I got some really exciting information about how it is grounded. And I love that your foundation is God, and you readily, easily talk about it in conversation all the time. And so tell us a little bit about Accelerating Men.
Yeah, so Accelerating Men is a community faith-based nonprofit mentoring program that educates, trains, and cultivates African-American young men ages 10 through 18 to simply accelerate into their God-given identity. Our ultimate goal is to help each young man to understand who they are in God before operating their purpose, and that's through leadership development, that's through character development, that's through self-esteem awareness, internal discovery, and identity development. So we hold on to the psychosocial theory of Eric Anderson, who's a psychoanalyst. There's 8 stages of development. So we focus on that 5th stage where he talks about identity development versus identity confusion. So during this critical development stage of their life, 12 to 18, 19, it varies, where young men or youth in particular will start to define who they are. This critical time where they're developing a sense of awareness of who they are. So we focus a lot on just building self and knowing who you are. Do a lot of workshops, a lot of mindset building exercise and activities to help them to really understand who they are. So when they go through a challenge, which they will experience, how do you navigate through those things? You know, what strategy, what coping mechanism are you using to navigate through those challenges? So our organization focuses primarily on just building the young men holistically, and also the family. Uniquely is that we have a component within our organization that includes our parents. So I developed a bridge and parent child advocacy program that includes our parents, where it bridges the communication and relationship gap between the young men and the parents, where the parents are mandated to attend a monthly parent workshop.
That's
Not
good.
saying you don't know how to parent, we just want to give you resources because you reached out to us for support. So we want to come alongside you. Right? We're not replacing you. Come alongside you and support you with resources and workshops and conversations to give you another outlet to plug into. And we have about 21 parents that we serve on a monthly basis, and consistently about 17 to 18 parents come consistently to the workshops. And we're looking at 2-parent households, single-parent households. I mean, it's a diverse community of parents that come in and want to be poured into. So through our organization, we also provide scholarship opportunity, community service projects, social interventions, career development. Every young man within our program as they transition out of the program each year. They have to do some type of internship,
Nice.
a camp, some type of job course, whatever is related to their personal interests. They have to start operating in that. So our goal is to help them to get there faster than we did. So whatever they want to do, when we write it down and we help them with their SMART goals, it's not that we're just talking about it, but we are putting it to action.
Yeah.
And we're helping the parents, move forward in that process.
And that's key, action,
Yep.
putting it into action.
Yep.
Because a lot of times you can tell someone to do something, especially a youth, but if you have where you're guiding them along like you all are, the results, the positive results are going to happen more often than not. And so that's really good. I love everything about it. So what's the website, or how
you can find us on acceleratingmen.org.
Okay.
And you can find all about our programs, what we do, our upcoming events in January. January is nationally recognized as National Mentoring Month. So on January 25th at 12 noon at the A Center in Knightdale, North Carolina, we'll be hosting our 4th annual fundraiser.
Okay.
So we're excited to be able to bring funds and supporting our programs and all the things that we do. So we're excited. We're having a trio. Colin Williams will be sharing in the saxophone in his band. And we have our guest speaker, Patrick Patterson, who's world-renowned grant writer, speaker, an educator around fatherhood and male initiatives throughout the country. So we're excited to have a great space where people can learn not only about us, but also be inspired.
That's awesome. Well, we would love to put out the flyer or something,
awesome.
So we'll talk about that in a moment, how we can support that. At our favorite place, ACE. You said January. So you mentioned January like 3 times. January has been for many people, it's the beginning of the year, and so it is monumentous. But for you, it's been transcendental in so many ways. You've had some horrible situations and you've had some amazing things. You've birthed some things and you've let go of some things. Like January is pretty powerful for your life, I've noticed. I'm a patterns person, and so I see that thread throughout your life. So every January, I'm gonna be like, what's up with Marcel Anderson?
Please continue to ask me that question.
Yes.
So I'm constantly asking myself that same question.
Yes.
What's up with you? Before January, I don't like to start in January. I like to start before hand and really write out those visions and those plans to help me to navigate and move and make sure I have the right people on my team and not everybody on my team, because you can't have everybody moving with you as you move.
That's
you
true.
have the right people to move you in the right direction. So I'm always evaluating, assessing, analyzing myself as I not only move through each year, but also through every day. Waking up with the right mindset and making sure that I'm doing everything I need to do. So I can get to that destination. So I just turned 35. So I'm like, Lord Jesus, I'm getting older.
Don't you even. Yes, you're getting older. Okay, good. Older, not old. I was going to say, don't you even, because I'm older. Okay.
I'm
okay,
older.
That's true. That's how we all are, right? We all want to get older.
Right.
So I don't want to end the show without finding out more about this new release, The Road to Recovery. So tell us what we can expect on this album.
Wow. Can I hold it?
Yes, it's your.
You can expect prayer, and I'm just going through the songs in order. You can expect help. You can expect more of God. You can expect you dealing with your silent wars. You can expect inner peace. You can expect rain on you internally.
Yes.
You can expect not giving up. Expect not holding on. You can expect table talk, having conversations with someone you lost. And I mentioned that I do have two older twin brothers, but one of my brothers passed away almost 6 years ago in a car accident, and he had an organization called Table Talk, and I wanted to write a song in his honor. So I wrote a song called Table Talk, and I basically was writing to heaven, letting heaven know that I've been calling you and leaving messages on your phone to talk to my brother, and I'm being serious. I literally wanted to speak with my brother one more time. So the song is basically saying, hey, he has not returned my phone calls, and I know you have the capacity and the ability to give him the phone and let me speak to him just one more time. If you ever lost someone in your life and you just needed one more conversation, they left before you could speak to them, literally physically, like speaking right here in front of him. And I believe, and I still believe that until I transition, that I can still talk to my brother, because there's nothing new under the sun. I mean, there's nothing that's impossible with our God, right? So I believe that He can do that. I have enough faith to be able to speak with my brother again before I go into this space back into heaven. So I wrote that song. I think it's been very helpful and therapeutic for a lot of people who've lost someone, to want to just have that last conversation with their loved one.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, and that last one is called Road to Recovery. So it's my testimony. You know, I think it speaks to the heart of anyone who is recovering from something.
Yeah.
And anything that you can recover.
Yeah. And that's a good word. That's a good word. So, Marcel, how can we get in touch with you? So we know Accelerating Men. We got that information. How long has that nonprofit been?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
So 4 years. Great foundation, great fruit. We know that we want to get this CD and we want to get the book and the other books. So the third book is a journal or a workbook
It's a
that accompanies.
10-step guide.
Yeah.
It's a 10-step guide, and it's literally is the title of the music that I've written. So what I did was I created a workbook with my lyrics of my songs.
Oh, nice.
So people can work through the songs and the lyrics, because people are always asking me, man, I would love to see these words come into life. So I'm helping people to respond to the words, because I'm going to give a commentary to each song, but also allow people to work through activities and different research that I've found, and also challenge people to write their own song, right, as they go through their challenges in life. That everyone has a voice. And they can speak up, whether they write a poem. It don't have to be a song, but it can be something that they can share their voice, not only with themselves but with the community. So again, all of my music is on any social media outlet, Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, on my website, marcelandersonmusic.com. And then they can, again, follow me on social media, Facebook, Marcel Anderson, or Instagram, Marcel Anderson 1. So again, those are my social media outlets, and I pray that people follow me and learn more about who I am and what God has given me, because I truly want to inspire you to just live your best life, and know that no matter what you go through in life, that you can continue to grow with your mindset.
That's right. That's a great way to end. Well, you know that we at Coffee and Collaborations will be sure to make sure you get all of that information, just in case you miss anything. And you want to follow us at www.coffeeandcollaborations.com. We're on Instagram as well as Facebook, and we just did a Twitter page. And so if you're a Twitter person, if you're a tweeter, then just go to @coffeeandcollab as our handle. And so this is so great. Like, my heart is just so overflowing right now. So many things that you said just touched me, and I'm glad. So we've talked on the phone, we've talked through Messenger, but it's different to be right beside someone, being able to have a conversation. So I'm so grateful for this time. I know that we talked about singing. Are we gonna do that, or are we just hanging out? What are you feeling like?
You want to do something?
Okay, so y'all know, you've heard that Marcel is an amazing singer, right? So we were talking earlier. My engineer over there was like, "So Kim, are you gonna ask him if we're gonna sing?" And I said, "Oh yeah, sure." So he's gonna dive right in, right? Okay. We're gonna play some. What is it? This Christmas
by Donny Hathaway.
By Donny Hathaway, one of my favorite artists. If you've never heard of Donny Hathaway, go Google him, look him up. Your life will be changed. So Donny Hathaway, after you look up Marcel Anderson, Marcel. And so we're gonna sing. He's gonna dive in with This Christmas, and I'm gonna just come in just a little bit.
Yeah, please come in.
So,
awesome.
What'd you say?
I said awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so
let's do it. Let's dive in.
Let's dive in. So he's gonna start the music, and we'll have a little fun, and we'll go ahead and close out. Have a great rest of the week, and make sure that you shine, because someone is waiting for you to do the same.
Hang on the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better. This Christmas, and as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night.
And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
Shake a hand, shake a hand.
Let's shake a hand.
Yo. Presents and cards are here. My world is filled with cheer. You, yeah. Doom. This Christmas, and as we look around, your eyes outshine the town. Yes, they do. This Christmas, take it home.
Fireside is blazing bright.
Yeah, come on.
We're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me.
Thank y'all. Good job.
We done.
Good job.